And I want to talk about that important tournament that you have this year, that big tournament, the one that really, really matters, and why it's so hard to play in those tournaments or to focus or to play your best. So hard to manage your anxiety and your stress. So hard to go out there and play really calm and certain and confident. All right. So I'm going to give you some insight today on how to do that when you have those really big, important tournaments that matter. All right. And it starts with not calling them big and important and that they matter. Right. The more emphasis that you put on those tournaments, the bigger that you make the adjective, the more chatter your brain is going to give you. Okay. And this is what happens. I want to put it in really simple terms, like primitive caveman terms. I make the analogy that all those little random thoughts that go on in the back of your brain are your hamster thoughts. It's like a hamster cage. I told the story. I had a hamster cage growing up. I had a lot of hamsters. They turned into thousands of hamsters overnight, right? We didn't have Google to figure out like what the heck was going on, but they could really multiply and they were everywhere. We had the tubes that connected cage to cage and we didn't know how to take care of them. And they were crazy. Like they were all over the place. And so sometimes I go and look at that cage and there'd be 3 hamsters on the wheel running around and around. There'd be one over in the corner banging his head against the cage. Another one was eating its young. It was horrifying, but I'm telling you, we put the wrong hamsters with the babies and they were lunch. Yeah, I know, disgusting. But they were all doing different things. It was crazy. Like they were all crazy in there. And then you go in the next time and they're all sleeping and they're all quiet. And like, oh, they're so cute until they wake up and then they're crazy. Right. And then, of course, I was really little. So we go and shake the cage. And the minute we shake the cage, they all go scattering crazy all over the place. This is what we do to our brain. It's like a hamster cage. So the way that it works, the back part of your brain has not evolved much since caveman days, meaning that it's still designed to keep you safe. It's still looking for trouble. It's scanning the environment for different ways that you're going to get in trouble. You stick your head out of the cave, it looks around looking for different ways that you're going to get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. It puts you onto high alert into a fight or flight mode, and it cuts off all your rational thinking. Now, all that great decision-making, you go right into fight or flight, high stress mode. What happens is we've shaken the cage. There's a tiger, shake the cage. Our brain's like, oh my God, we got to get out of here. We do this in our everyday lives. The more you shake the hamster cage, the bigger that saber-toothed tiger is, the scarier things are, the more anxiety you have, the more stress you have, the more pressure you feel. You know, everybody wants to go out there and play golf. They're like going, you know, today was amazing. The weather was great. I loved my pairing, right? The course was in great condition. Everything was nice and relaxed. I didn't have any problems. My brain was really quiet. I want to do that all the time. I'm like, that's a course. All the hamsters were sleeping. Green light day. It's like catching every green light. They're all sleeping. We all want that. Trust me, if you have hamsters, you want them all sleeping. Are hamsters even a thing now anymore? I don't think so. But what happens is then we create all this drama for our own brain by making a really big tiger in the way, by waking up all the hamster thoughts in the back of our head. Right? We got these little worry thoughts. We might have 3 worry thoughts going around on that hamster wheel at a time. Where I have horrifying thoughts that you're like, oh my God, why did that thought come into my head? That's the hamster eating the baby. I'm just telling you. Then you got that hamster that's banging its head against the cage over and over again. That's you beating yourself up, right? All these things are happening in the back of your brain because you have this huge tiger in front of you. So when you say this tournament is really important, I really, really need to play well in this. It's the biggest tournament of the year. You're shaking your hamster cage. You're making a very big saber-toothed tiger in front of you, and your brain all of a sudden starts chattering, and you go into this very high stress and anxiety and pressure and fight or flight mode, and you can't seem to quiet the thoughts down. I think teenage girls are really a great example of this. I'm not bashing teenage girls. I had 3 of them, but it's like the drama, right? You could just like, to me, all I see them is shaking cages. I'm like, you're getting everybody upset. You're going around shaking everybody's cages with your story. Right? They love telling their story about, oh my God, this happened and then this happened and this happened, right? We're just telling our brain that things are really, there's a problem, right? It's very hard for us to calm back down. So what I encourage you to do is, one, is make the tiger a really small little baby tiger, right? That you're not as afraid of. No big T's, no big tigers, little tigers. So take away those words like important and big, the biggest one of the year, because you're telling your brain that's like a huge consequence here. Like this could be the end of everything. We could get eaten and disappear off the planet. So that's step one, make them little tigers, baby tigers, right? Small T's. Second one is calm your hamsters down. Right? If you could see what I could see in my head about these hamsters, you don't understand what I'm talking about, but you just want to soothe the thoughts in the back of your head, quiet the hamsters down. You want to remind your brain that this is not a problem. This is nothing to get excited about. I know in the past that I've alarmed myself and I made this a big deal, but we got this. This is not a problem. We're not going to get eaten by a tiger. We're just playing in a tournament. We know how to do this. And you start quieting the thoughts down. And the temperature on everything starts coming down. The anxiety and the stress starts coming down. The tiger starts shrinking. We can do this also when we're playing golf, coming up in the last couple holes. Maybe we have a really good round going. We're like, oh my God, I have 3 holes left. I better not bogey in. I better play well going in, or I need to make a birdie coming in. And we're shaking our hamster cage. And all of a sudden you're like, well, I don't know why I got so stressed on those last few holes, or why I wasn't thinking or concentrating very well, or I couldn't focus, right? Because we don't have access to that. When we're waking up all those hamsters in the back of our head, we're shaking the cage, right? When you catch yourself saying things that are inflammatory, that have lots of drama behind them, when we make them a big thing, I want you to start catching it. Notice that you're just anywhere from gently to violently shaking your hamster cage. Sometimes this is a pattern and a habit, and be a little patient with yourself and remind yourself that you're in the habit of not waking up the hamsters as often. You're in the habit of quieting the hamsters down. You're in the process of becoming someone who doesn't alarm yourself, doesn't make a big deal out of things. It might not happen instantly for you, and that's okay. Have a little grace with yourself. Remind yourself you're in the process of doing it. At least you're more aware now when you do it. And the more that you pay attention to it and deliberately try to make a smaller tiger and calm your little hamsters down, the less your brain is going to get super excited when you start playing in all these different tournaments in the season. All right. So the reason that you're struggling or uncomfortable or not feeling very great with these big, important, massive tournaments that you have coming up is because you've shaken the hamster cage and you created this big old saber-toothed tiger. And you're just going to be a little bit more deliberate about reminding your brain that it's not a big deal and that you got this. All right. I hope you got my analogies. I love analogies. Very visual. I can see the whole thing playing out in my head. All right.